Thank you once again. I know we have been kind of working on this for some time, Nikki, and I have to apologize that it took me some time to really figure out my schedule because it has been quite crazy time actually, and I will talk about it a little bit later. What I've been up to as well, but I just wanted to say thank you. It's great to see that these tours that used to happen offline can happen online as well, and people are excited to join and people are excited to share experiences. So it's great to see that, because many people have been asking me, hey, can we do something similar? Can we learn more about China through online? And I was always a bit skeptical, I have to say, that like I always thought that like, yeah, the online experience is probably not going to be as good as the offline. But I'm glad that you're kind of the pioneer, at least in my eyes, that is able to put this together. And so, I will probably start with just introducing myself so that everybody has a context on what I have been up to, what we're currently doing. And, I would definitely love to, bring as much value as I can. And so if you have any specific questions related to, where China is right now regarding COVID or what's happening, or if it's, about business specifically, finding partners, doing business in China, whatever it is, just think about it, and whatever can bring the most value to you to your specific case, please let me know, because I think that's the best way to do this. And so, I am originally from Czech Republic, actually. So, Jeffrey, you're in Prague. I used to study in Prague, and I'm from there. So, we
Yo,
have
ahoy.
already a lot of in common.
Nice to see you.
So, yeah, so I'm actually from a very small town in Český Krumlov. I guess people from Austria know Český Krumlov also, most likely, because it's very close to the border. So, I grew up there, and I moved to China around 2015. I moved here kind of serendipitously because I never really studied Chinese. I never learned anything about China. I was never really curious about that part of the world, I would say. But I was kind of entrepreneurial when I was finishing my studies, and opportunity came up. I read an article about Xiaomi, which is one of the largest electronics brands, mobile phone brands from China. And, it really got my attention. And I was like, we got to try these products. Everybody's asking about these products. Nobody can buy them in Europe. Nobody wants to buy those products on Alibaba, because back then Alibaba didn't have a good reputation just yet. And so, we just decided to kind of, take the leap of faith, and we found some suppliers online, and we started selling these products in Czech Republic and Slovakia. And this business grew quite well. We were two students back then, and we were just side hustling. We were not really doing it full time, and we were able to grow it into really interesting income, basically bootstrap the business. And I decided to move to China because of that, because back then everybody would be just saying, hey, China, it's just cheap labor, there is a lot of pollution, and nothing else is going on there. And I was like, wait, but like they're making these products and people love it, so like I need to go explore. And I was blown away. I basically landed in Shenzhen, which I had no idea how big this city is. Skyscrapers everywhere. It's basically growing like mushrooms here every single year. And I was just amazed, and I decided to stay here. And so I've been here for 5 years, and I tried different things. I was in venture capital. I was doing a lot of community building. We're basically trying to help people understand China, bring investors to China, kind of help them understand the culture, the business, side of things, etc. So I did it through many different projects, and I was working in investment banking. I was working for a Silicon Valley based company, developing their presence in China, etc., etc. And recently I kind of decided to start on my own again. And because I saw so much demand, many people would be just texting me, and Your China Guy, it's organic again. I really didn't plan to become Your China Guy. I didn't really come up with this name on my own. It was just like I was talking about China so much, and I was just telling people what we are up to here and what other businesses are up to here, that people started calling me, hey, Jan, you're my China guy, or you're my guy in China. Can you help us with something there? Can you, help us figure out the manufacturing? Can you help us figure out, we want to connect with Tencent and we want to do some business with them in Europe, et cetera, et cetera. And so basically I was getting so much demand from people that I decided to, okay, so let's see if we can do something about it. And we started a small boutique consultancy company, really kind of helping people to get stuff done in China. We have a small team, mostly locals. I am kind of the only foreigner, plus I have a partner based in Prague, actually, based in Europe, who recently moved back. And we're really working hands-on with a couple of clients and really helping them to get stuff done, get sales done, figure out their pitches, to the Chinese clients, figure out the cultural differences and the communication. Because oftentimes what happens is that, it's not that people don't want to do business with each other. It's really sometimes, or most of the times, is that the expectations are not met. That the European side or the international side is coming from that European background, and they have certain way of doing things, and then they kind of clash with the Chinese way of doing things, because that's completely different, right? In terms of communication, in terms of how people respond, sometimes they want things very quickly, sometimes they will kind of go silent for 2 weeks, and you kind of like need to figure out a way how to manage that relationship, because otherwise things just don't happen, people get upset, etc. And so that's basically what we're helping people with right now. And it's pretty exciting, I would say, because of course during COVID we were dealing with a lot of different things, and I didn't even know if this is going to be sustainable. But of course now we see that China is one of those markets that is kind of back, is growing, it's open, and if you have a product from Europe that you want to sell in China, then it's probably a very good time to go into it, because of course many people maybe decided to back off because they have to deal with different priorities. And so it's kind of less competitive, I would say, in certain aspects. Of course the market itself is extremely competitive locally, but in terms of like foreigners trying to get in, you can see that it's somehow it's still getting back up to speed, and so I think there's few opportunities that we have been trying to capitalize on for our clients, for example. And maybe just to set the stage, right? And this is people often ask me, hey, how is China going? How is China doing right now? Like how is life in China? Is it back to normal? Is it like struggling? Is media lying? Whatever, right? And so I can tell you that I live in Shenzhen, and I have kind of, I would say, I cannot say we forgot about the virus, right? But like, everything is kind of back, like you go to the gym, it's full of people. You go to the theater, of course, there are some restrictions. You need to wear a mask and you need to have a social distancing still, but basically like, everybody is willing to go and spend money. And you go to the restaurant and you're lining up again. Like just the other day, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, I was waiting basically 30 minutes to sit down in a restaurant that is popular one for lunch, with my friends, with my clients. And so basically, it's really, you cannot really tell the difference. You just see that people are still cautious, because especially in Shenzhen, they still wear a mask. They're still pretty, they're diligent about this. They still like, from time to time, not every single place, but from time to time, they still measure a temperature, and, they don't let you in if you don't have a mask, etc. And so basically like the business is back, like, of course, some businesses didn't survive. I have a few friends that are running restaurant businesses in China, and for them, that was really, big hit, I would say, for those 3, 4, 5 months even. And they're kind of getting back right now. But those who survived that area, that period of time when it was basically completely on the lockdown, and I don't know how you see it in Austria, how you see it in Czech Republic right now, but why maybe China is back is that at the beginning of the virus, it was like nobody was on the street. Nobody was going out. We were literally for 3 months just sitting at home, and we're ordering everything online. It was really so strict that nobody would even dare to go out. It wasn't that like there was a police, around us and telling us you cannot go out. No, nothing like that. It's just people followed those suggestions, let's say, and so basically, it was pretty tough period of time at the beginning, I would say, until the May or maybe April, end of April, May. But since then, basically things were kind of, getting back. And now from my perception, I cannot speak for the data. Of course, the data are out there. People say that China is back in growth, economy is growing. Of course, I cannot really say if that's the real number, or if it's a little bit off, or if it's off a lot. But in terms of the perception that I live here and I see it, and I can compare how it was before the virus and now, it's basically back to normal with certain restrictions. Yeah, and so this has been incredible to see. I still remain cautious, honestly, because when you travel around China, which we can do already, we can travel within China. I cannot go internationally because I would have a hard time coming back afterwards, because China is still quite restrictive on, kind of allowing people to go back. It's possible, but you need to have special permissions, etc. And so I'm not really risking that. But when you travel around China, I was, one example for you guys, and maybe that's kind of going to blow your mind the same I was blown away, is I was in Shanghai 2.5 weeks ago, and I attended an expo. I attended a conference. When I was there that day, there was 10,000 people at the conference, and the entire conference, they said the numbers afterwards, were 60,000 people attended that conference within 2 or 3 days. Of course, everybody wore a mask, and they're still checking your QR codes. If you were in a risky area within last 2 weeks or so, but honestly, it wasn't that strict anymore. And like when you go on the street in Shanghai, there is more people that really don't care anymore. They don't wear a mask. It's nobody gives you a weird look if you don't wear a mask. It's really kind of like, people feel like, hey, we're safe again, and I remain still a bit cautious, because there are experts, even local Chinese experts, local, let's say people like the virus experts that say, hey, we should get ready. Maybe the next wave during winter is coming, so we have to be cautious. So, I still remain quite cautious myself, but you can see that people in China kind of gain the confidence again. They're willing to spend money, they're willing to go out, and they're willing to attend these things, and so I'm a living proof that, like, if there was something going on, if somebody was hiding something, in China, if the virus was still there, and there was these conferences happening, then I would probably not be feeling great now. So I'm basically living proof that it's somewhat functioning, So that's just setting a stage for you guys, because I get this question quite often. How is China now? What's happening in China? Can you live a normal life, etc.? So I just wanted to kind of give you an overview. And if you have any questions, please let's dive deeper, because I think that will be more valuable.